Then Imam al Razi has another really interesting observation about this fruit, which I thought was really beautiful. So he says, if you look at the fig in particular, its exterior is like its interior. It's not like a walnut whose exterior is a shell, nor like a date whose interior is a shell. So he says, as for the fig, it is good in appearance and in its essence. And then he says there's 3 different types of trees, fruit trees. He says there's a tree that promises fruit, right? But then it fails. It doesn't actually deliver the fruit. And then he says there's a second tree that promises and fulfills. But first it produces its leaves and its flowers, and then it produces the fruit. Right? So the leaves and the flowers are actually produced, and you can say the tree's taking care of itself first, and then it's giving back to us. And then the third, he said, is a tree that gives before the promise, which is the fig, because it produces the fruit before flowers. Before its flowers. I didn't know that. And then he says that the other trees, they're basically like believers, right? Good, because the believers are supposed to, as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ encouraged, to take care of yourself first, and then those who are your dependents. Very similar, we have a concept, is that start with yourself, then with those you support. But the fig, he says, and this is Imam al Razi, okay? He says the fig is a tree that is like the chosen one, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who used to begin with others, okay? He used to begin with others. And he says, rather, he is from those whom Allah mentioned in his saying, وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ, and they give preference over themselves even though they were in need. Right? And so the fig is something, again, that it's a tree that produces, it gives the fruit first. It takes care of others, and then it takes care of itself. It produces the flowers and the leaves. And so this is being compared to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself. So our assignment this week is actually related to this, because we're in the month of the Mawlid, where we started with the salawat, and now we're going to think about the fig as a fruit that is symbolic of the quality of ithar in Islam, as manifested in the example of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So our assignment this week is really to try to find opportunities to prefer others in some way or shape or form, to actually prefer others over ourselves, and seeking to follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that again, and who is, there's a metaphor between the fig and the Prophet in that they help others first before they help themselves. What was that? It's also fig season. I did not know that. Subhanallah. And we get to talk about the surah today. Alhamdulillah.